So how do you go from playing like this to this? So what makes it different? It's in the right hand. When right hand plays melody and some of the harmony together underneath, it just sounds so much better. But how do you know which notes to add? Because lead sheets don't give you any extra notes, right? So in this video, we're going to talk about the steps to do that, and I'll share some tips to transform your right hand playing for the nice, richer, and smoother sound. Let's dive in. So you have your melody notes and the chords. So our first job is to figure out which notes belongs to that chord with the melody note on top, right? So the G goes on top, and from G major, after the G, it's B and D. So you play them with your thumb and pointer, like that. And then look at the second chord with G7. So the B is the top note, so this B can go, and then this G can come here. So we're rearranging the chord notes, right? And then so on. So the C major for G, and then G major for that D, and then E minor with G on top. So E minor is this, G is on top. So we are left with the two notes E and B. So you play this way. In a way, this is kind of going through the root first and second inversion stuff. So that's how you find the notes, right? So we got the chord. Then now you want to make the melody and harmony different. So you play this heavier and these parts, these two notes lighter. And you don't want to play all together. You don't want to play like this. Right? You get the idea. Two ways to do it. You roll. So you roll and repeat very lightly. And when you roll, see how I'm going to do it slow motion. It's pretty much playing one by one, but holding down the fingers. As I go, thumb, pointer, pinky, everybody holds. Use your elbow and wrist to kind of roll and move that side, right? And remember that heavy touch on the pinky and lighter touch here. And then gently repeat. See, already sounds so much better than when you play, right? Another way to do this is to use walking pattern. So this is the melody, so we don't touch that. But these two notes, there's a hole. We can fill it in like this. Right? That sounds nice, right? So you can either roll, repeat, or walk. The next one too, same. Roll, repeat, or, right? Walking pattern works there too. And then there. Now, sometimes when it's the root position chord like this, to play all three notes, it sounds a little bit heavy. So you drop one note. You can just use the third, since the C is here in the left hand too, right? So we're gonna go just third, another third, another third. And then from here to here, there's a hole. So we're gonna do that walking pattern again and fill it in like this. And you can add a grace note. Grace note is where you play, right? The note right below, usually the black key or half step lower, very quick. So this is a quick roll between two fingers. Right? After this, you can add a little something small like this. Or more. Right? And that connects to the next note too. That works too. So all I'm doing is, before I get to this, using one note right below there, this way, or right, walk up, walk down. So after that, we're going to E minor with G on top here. So we can roll again, and then now this is a big gap, so we're going to try to walk and then fill it in. So walking down chromatic, walking down half steps. Right, so we're rolling almost every chord, filling in, rolling, repeat, roll, and then repeat. So we're not doing a lot, right? We're not adding crazy octaves, fancy stuff. Just simple patterns, walking patterns, rolling patterns from the chords. So you don't have to know a lot of crazy stuff to make it sound good, right? So let's play that much one more time. First chord, get ready, and then roll, repeat, walking down, walking, rolling and walking, filling in. Let's continue. Here again, this is the root position G chord, so we're not going to use all of it. And we have a lot of B's and D's in this passage. So I want to try to not play B here on the chord. So I'll just go this, and then we're going to G major 7 and G7. The pattern is that, right, in the chord. So we're going to try to use that and make that into our walking pattern, like this. Right? Or you can even go just D and then start here. Right? So walking, and then walking here again. So that was another walking pattern, right? So instead of going this way, start a little early and then connect, fill in that gap, right? So a lot of walking patterns, right? So here I'm just simply repeating the notes in the chord, right? That's a good way to fill in that space. You know the chord, you don't know what else to do, then just repeat those notes gently. Things like that. And then you can do that grace note thing again. This is another walking pattern, right? We're going from C to G. The lower notes go from C to G, so you can try to fill that space in. So you don't have to use the G, right? Right? So once you know your chords, you figure out the position that works for the melody notes, and then you play around with these notes, mostly with your thumb and pointer. With that gentle, softer touch, you play around, you roll or fill in the gap, walk it up, walk it down, and then sometimes use grace notes. And when you do these things, you don't need to do it everywhere. You mostly do it on long notes. That's when you need to fill up the space. So leave the shorter notes alone. They're fine on their own. And play around with the long notes. So grab your favorite song today, grab your sheet music, and try some of these tricks. And let me know how it went in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Smash the like button, hit subscribe, and see you next time.